It is another episode of The Disc Vault. We're going to go through the shelves and we're going to pull off starring one of my favourite actors of all time, Brad Pitt. This is what we're going to look at. Let's do it. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Disc Vault. Today I've pulled off the shelves this Blu-ray disc from 2014 starring Brad Pitt, also Shia LaBeouf is in it. Fury. This is an amazing war movie. Some of the action in it with the tanks is absolutely incredible. Looks absolutely wonderful in Blu-ray too. This is the first disc that I've done that's a Blu-ray disc on this channel. So of course, being a Blu-ray disc, we've got the 1080 lines of definition that we get. And if you're playing it on a 4K player, you're probably going to get a bit of upscaling with that to enhance the picture a little bit as well. Bearing in mind this channel primarily targets a more budget conscious collector of physical media, so I understand there are other channels with more state-of-the-art equipment and looking at extensively at more 4K films. That's not primarily what I'm trying to do on this channel. I'm trying to make it so that it's a more accessible hobby for anyone that wants to get into it. Therefore, the player that I'm playing my Blu-rays on is an Xbox One X. That is a 4K player, and you can pick them up pretty good value if you search around on Marketplace or in second-hand shops. You can pick up a One X in good value. That will actually upscale your DVDs and your Blu-rays ever so slightly so that you get a nicer picture on your TV, whatever TV it is that you're using. So the director for this movie is David Ayer. David Ayer's he also directed Suicide Squad. He directed Bright with Will Smith. That's a really interesting movie if you want to see that. Yeah, and I'll leave a list in the description of some of the other movies he's written. He also wrote, I think Beekeeper he directed. He's also wrote the screenplay for Training Day and The Fast and the Furious. So this is somebody that's been in the industry for a few years, and his directing in this is very, very good. There's some really excellent scenes in this, and how he's choreographed the action, it's really, really good. This is a very talented director. Okay, so a brief story rundown of this movie. If you don't want to know anything about this movie, please turn off now and come back. Slight spoilers, but I don't really go into anything with too much detail. Basically, it follows a tank commander and his crew in a General Sherman tank at the later and end stages of World War II. So they're already pushing into Germany, they're pushing through France, and they're pushing the Third Reich back into Germany. And that's where the story of this takes place. It takes place on the fields and the villages that the Allies would have pushed through. And yeah, the accuracy of a lot of the historical content in this movie, it looks very good. The sets look very, very real, and timepiece period is absolutely spot on, in my opinion. I'm not a World War II historian, but everything in this looks very good for somebody who enjoys casually watching these sorts of movies. Yeah, and so we follow the story of this tank commander and his crew, and they have to, the story kind of culminates in the fact they have to hold this certain section on the map. It's a crossroads section, and that's something that's quite important. And Brad Pitt's character, his name is War Daddy, and he's sort of he's a very disciplinarian person. He looks after his little group, but also he expects a lot from them. And we see this story a little bit through the eyes of a young person that's just come into the tank crew. He has no tank experience whatsoever. He's actually a typist, but he's got this position where he's now in this tank. So it's a real kind of baptism of fire for him. And it's almost like the way that we, the audience, get to experience the drama and how we can perceive what was going on at the time. We kind of see it very much through his eyes, and I think that was an interesting way that this story was developed. On this Blu-ray edition I have as well, there's actually a download link, so you can download the movie, or you could have in the day. I think the link's expired now, but you could have downloaded it, and it was at that time where physical media was now trying to directly offer something competitively to streaming, so they offered a free download of this movie, and that's an interesting little piece of paper there I have with that information on the inside cover. And I like to keep those things in my discs. I think that's just an interesting bit of history. And of course we have the disc here on the inside. I really liked some of the bonus features on this disc as well. The making of obviously the story, but how they actually used some real World War II tanks, and they got them from this museum. And there's a scene with a Tiger tank, a German Tiger tank, and apparently that is the last working Tiger tank in the world, and they were able to convince the museum to let them use it for certain shots in the movie. And just incidentally, just to talk a little bit about the movie again, that scene where the the American Sherman tanks are facing off against this German Tiger tank, that is an amazing piece of cinematography. Everything about that scene is breathtaking and nail-biting. And yeah, kudos to the director and also the actors, but the whole crew, how they built this real tense moment. And the action of that scene, it's just brilliant. The sound is brilliant, the bullets and the explosions, and that's the great thing about Blu-ray, is that you're getting a lossless sound. So there's no compression here, not like you're going to get on your streaming services. What you're going to hear here is going to sound absolutely fantastic. So who would I say this movie would appeal to, or who is it for? Well, I think if you have any interest in war movies in particularly, and particularly concerning anything to do with World War II in Europe, I think this has a lot there that you can have a look at, and you can get some historical context. And this does a very good job at that. So yeah, if you like your war movies, if you like action movies, if you like Brad Pitt, as I said, I love Brad Pitt's movies, man. I think he just makes very, very good movies. And there's only a few actors, and you kind of, almost every movie they make is a great movie, and Brad Pitt is no exception to that. And I think this is up there with everything else that he's filmed and he's acted in, and this is a wonderful performance by him. So yeah, I would say if you like action movies, if you like Brad Pitt, if you're into David Ayer's work and you want to get some context for all the other movies he's made and you haven't seen this one, I would definitely recommend this. In fact, I would recommend this movie anyway. I think it's a good movie. I think there's a lot of different layers within it as well, which makes for a very, very interesting and an enjoyable watch. So that's kind of my very brief look at this physical media copy, this Blu-ray that I have of the movie Fury. As I said, it came out in 2014. If you haven't seen it, I would say take a look at it. I don't think you're going to be unhappy with this movie at all. If you found any benefit to this short video and this very short basic run over and review of this movie, please feel free to drop us a like or a subscribe. That will help the channel grow, and it's very much appreciated. Anyway, enjoy your movies, enjoy watching your physical media or listening to your physical media, wherever you do that or however you do that. I hope you continue to get enjoyment out of it, and until the next time, I will see you very soon on The Disc Vault. Thanks guys, see you later.